who would have thought at 16 I'm going to be doing a 40 million deal? Now I'm thinking, mate, I'm looking at 200 million, we're looking at 300 million. I'm a classic example of the 9 to 5.
You got yourself a really good paid job. You mentioned it was in the 6 figures.
I was like, everything made it. That's what my mom asked for. That's what the world looks at. Range Rover parked on a drive, flying business class, different floor on an airplane. Mate, that was the biggest change of my life.
Why did you leave?
Look, this is again not an overnight thing.
Adam, welcome to the CEOCAST.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on, bro.
Finally, we meet in Dubai.
We meet in Dubai, the hottest place we could do a podcast. I think we're both sweating right now, but it's good to finally get it done, you know. And to be fair, what we'll get into and what you do exactly, where we are, is pretty much a showcase of exactly that.
Exactly.
So let's start with it. So you've built a service accommodation business, which started in 2018, currently sitting at 3 million valuation and projected to hit 5 million by the end of the year. And on top of that, you've also acquired a business, a real estate business in Dubai.
Yeah.
So you're doing quite a lot, man. You're doing quite a lot.
Yeah, quite a lot in the short period of time because I'm dedicated and I work really hard.
Yeah, I do want to know a lot about the Airbnb business side of things because a lot of people seem to be catching on to that now, thinking that, you know, they can do rent to rent, but then also do it as Airbnb. But what you do, am I right, is saying that acquiring the property and then put it on Airbnb, right?
Correct, yeah.
So I definitely want to know how that all works because you've got an interesting story from, you know, working in a normal 9 to 5 job, your whole background. We've been chilling with each other in Dubai for the past week. So I've got to see and, you know you properly. And so I'm really, really excited for this podcast. But I'm going to let you take it away from here, man. What do you do exactly?
Before we get into it, make sure you subscribe and set the bell notification to all so you never miss a single episode.
Yeah, so thank you for having me first of all. And we are in sunny Dubai. And I work a lot and I love to work. I'm an entrepreneur. So I started my business in 2018 in Airbnb service accommodation, or the property world, as we call it. So I do a lot in property. I have over 10 years of experience in property. So 2018, where the real entrepreneur journey was started in the Airbnb business, which is around, it's a 3 million pound plus business right now as we speak. Within 4 years, we work with some of the biggest developers in the UK exclusively. And we expanded into Dubai. We got an office in JLT that we expanded in 2021. So it's become an international business very quickly, very efficiently and very effectively. So that's what I do. But my biggest focus, as well as having that business now, is mergers and acquisitions. So acquiring businesses. And we're running one of the fastest growing luxury real estate company in Dubai as we speak.
Yeah, I mean, you were telling me about a deal that you potentially got going on in Jumeirah. And for people who know Jumeirah, it's a very, very expensive place. I mean, this property you're looking to sell is about 40 million dirhams.
45 million dirhams that just come from being there exclusively with us. So it's one of the biggest deals I'm doing as we speak.
Yeah, so you're doing big deals, big turnover.
Yeah.
I'm going to get onto everything in a second, but from you starting in 2018 officially, your business, right? How does it make you feel knowing where it is now? I mean, obviously you've worked hard, you're an entrepreneur at heart.
Yeah.
But to get into this scale, into this level, doing this size deals is completely different.
Yeah. But I look at it like this. Once I dreamt of this and I'm here today. So sometimes you have to really pinch yourself and say, look, me and you like this now, freedom of lifestyle. We can sit here in Dubai looking out the window with all these yachts and the marina. You know, I dreamt of this. So it makes me feel good, but I do pinch myself every day. Last night, I'm talking to my other friend, you know, you feel like, oh, how did I do it? But that actually inspires me, and I hope to inspire other people to do bigger things by thinking like this. You know, it's possible. It's possible. Coming from a 9 to 5 job, coming from my background, I've been able to do this in 4 years. And I think, you know, it was hard work and determination.
Yeah. Let's start with the Airbnb model, right? Because I'm naturally curious about the Airbnb model. Like I said, it's hot right now and a lot of people seem to be getting on it, and you've got experience in it. So I'm going to try and describe it in how I look at it. Yeah. And I want you to correct me where I go wrong. Yeah. So there's 2 ways I think there's going on about it, right? You can either do a rent to rent, which means for the people who are watching, I can rent a property off you, for example, for let's just say £1,000 a month. Yeah. And then I have an agreement with you where I can lease it out to other people as well. And I can put that property on Airbnb for maybe £100, £200 a night. Yeah. Hopefully by the end of the month, creating £3,000, giving you your £1,000 rent. Correct. And therefore, after bills and everything, call it £1,500 profit. Yeah. And then you have the other side of things, which I'm sure, which is what you do, is actually buying the property and then doing an Airbnb like that. But then at the end of it, obviously, naturally, property, you're left with the value increasing over time.
Which is appreciation. Yeah.
And works out to be better than actual rent for a normal tenant. Yeah. Because you end up acquiring a lot more value and profit at the end of it, at the end of each month.
Exactly. So the Airbnb model that we've successfully run as one of the best companies in the UK, is the rent to rent model, and then you do the purchase buy to rent, buy to SA model, buy to Airbnb model. We do both. I have a portfolio of acquired property that's capital appreciating, and we bought that with investor finance or our finance. But the main model we do is rent to rent. We're very different. We work directly with developers. So we work with one of the biggest developers called Model Living in Birmingham. We're in the big tallest tower.
That's a new tower as well, right?
Yeah, it's the luxury tower. I think you've seen it. It's on Broad Street. We're exclusively working with them. We work in Liverpool with them. We have Glasgow, and we work in different areas in the UK. Basically, the reason we use the rent-to-rent model is scalable very quickly. So you don't need much finance, you don't need much down payment, and your starting up costs, our entry-level costs are easier to get into, and scalability is very high as long as you got the processes and systems. So our main reason for success is we've scaled the rent-to-rent model. So we have over 80 units with up to 80 units, I think we have with this developer, and then we have single units around the country, which takes up to about 125 units.
So the 80 units, is that just in Birmingham, that one tower?
Birmingham and Liverpool.
Liverpool. Okay.
Yeah. So we focused on growing at a scale, taking either blocks or floors at a luxury standard in the UK.
So give me an example of like one unit. So, you pay for rent. Would you be open to going?
Yeah. So the way to break this number down is very simple. So I use a 2-bedroom apartment. One of the rents in Birmingham is 1,700.
Yep.
Depending on the views and the size of the apartment, 1,500 to 1,700.
Yep.
We take on conservatively 400 to 500 bills and all your costs that's associated with it.
So call it 2,100 all in.
2,200 we say all in. I've got a bigger business, so I've got overheads to run, I've got offices, I've got storage units, I've got cleaning expenses. It comes with all the admin stuff as well. It's not just 1 or 2 properties where I'm doing this. I'm sitting here with you, so
so this is where I'll let you continue and I'll jump in.
This is where it gets fun and good and it creates the lifestyle freedom, right? So say that's one property, right? If we go up to 80 properties, so that's 2,200 give or take, using rough numbers here. We sell these, we rent these rooms out at an average of 3,300, 3,200 depending on the season. Even if you get minimum 3,000, we're clearing 800 net, or if not 1,000 net. You times that by 50 to 60 to 70, whatever your numbers are, you can do the maths on the profit margin on that.
See, this is where I'll jump in, because doing it at scale and doing it at mass size, that's where you're making very, very good money.
Exactly.
Now, don't get me wrong, having one unit for the average Joe like myself or whoever it may be, having one unit and putting that on Airbnb, making, call it 800 to £1,000 a month, seems great, but it's just good pass-by passive income.
Exactly.
It's not going to buy you your freedom or anything like that. It's something you'd have it alongside your normal 9-to-5 job. So let's just say you're making 60 grand a year from your 9-to-5 job, and you're making another, call it, let's just say 20 grand on top from your Airbnb. Now that's just one property. Now this is the issue I have when you have gurus online, Airbnb gurus.
Correct, yeah.
They make it seem like, here's the Airbnb model, do this, and it'll be very easy for you. Get 10 Airbnb apartments and all that sort of stuff. And as you just said there, to actually scale it massively, this is where you then need your office and you need staff and you need your cleaners. You need all of these sort of things that are going to dip into your costs, which is what they don't talk about. They sell you the dream and all that sort of stuff.
Look, I've been around the scene for a long time. That people that your viewers know me. We've been doing this for more than 5 years, nearly 6 years, and I've been doing it before as a non-company, on a personal individual basis. So I have a lot of experience in the Airbnb, the property model. The reason it doesn't work for a lot of people because they don't define the processes and systems. So I will touch on my background. So I come from a very corporate management consultancy, Jaguar Land Rover background. All we did was process improvements, process driven, and creating efficiency in quality and cost. Like, I've taken that mindset and applied it onto property, right? That's the game changer for me. We've got on scale, we have floors, you've seen them, we have floors of apartments, which are copy and paste. People are following a process on cleaning. Then we have apps, we have audits, we have everything that you can name under the sun, and we have all of these in place to be able to enable us to generate this profit efficiently and in the long term. It's not just over 12 months I've done this. It's not over 24 months. This is over nearly 5 to 6 years now, coming up to 6 years. So it's always driven by processing system and including your mindset behind it. So as a leader, you need to get a mindset. So anyone looking to do Airbnb model, property model, like such as this, rent to rent, you need to understand what your end goal is. If you're trying to if you just want to do one property, fine. The way you explain it, I do one property, fine. I've got a little bit of money.
Get you a little Dubai trip here and there, that sort of thing.
Yeah. But if you got to think what you're in it for, the vision for me was to get over 100 properties, and here we are, right today, and the freedom of lifestyle.
Yeah,
that's the ultimate goal for me, and I have the freedom now. Right, from zero. So we started with not zero, rather. I started with about 1,500 quid, I think, or £2,000. The first Airbnb that I've got, the rent and the deposit, that's all I had to pay. It was furnished, and I started with that. Yeah. Right, I wasn't perfect, but I got the process and systems right from day one. The cleaning processes, what orders you got to do, what checks you got to do, what does the customer want. I did benchmarking. I stayed in other people's Airbnb in the same city on a weekend or on Tuesday. So it's all about problem solving, creating a better product. A lot of these gurus or people there's some good mentors out there, right? The reason people fail is they forget it's a business. It's not just a property. Once you take the property on, it's a business, like a full-on hotel business, right? Customer service driven. Like when you're flying in from London to Dubai, we're sitting in one of our SAs, and you can see how good this is. This has been running for nearly 2 years, the same apartment. Look how clean, look how it's run.
Yeah.
It's because we've adhered to process. The team is trained fully to adhere to process because it's run like a business. It's run like a Hilton. We're competing with Hiltons down the road. We're competing with Marriott. We compete with Address JBR. That's what I'm competing with.
Yeah.
I've got a unit in Address Residences, and there's an Address Hotel next door.
And what I've found as well is that people, when I'll talk about Dubai specifically, when people come to Dubai, they're now rather booking apartments and booking hotels just because they got that much more space. It's not just a hotel room, bed, little desk, and you're done. But now with apartments for the similar sort of money, you can have your own kitchen, lounge, chill space, can have mates come in, all that sort of stuff. So it's a lot more flexible and a lot more things you can do in an apartment.
Exactly. It gives you space for the similar amount of price per night. It gives you space. It gives you flexibility. But where I like to be open on this, like people fail on customer service. Customer service is gone down since COVID days. Like customer service around the world is shocking right now. Like you probably go into the restaurant and you think, what's going on? Like people don't want to work. And if you can set yourself apart right now in customer service, you're gonna win. Like in our EP real estate business, in the real estate business, we're focusing on customer journey. I've learned this from my Airbnb business, which is cash flowing really good money. Why? Customer service. Creating customer service through process-driven and system-driven environment in your business.
Yeah, sweet. So where did all this come from you then? Because, so like I said, Airbnb is almost a trend right now.
Yeah.
This is 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you started in 2018, coming up to 6 years ago. So I know Airbnb was around then, but it wasn't as spoken about how people speak about it now. Yeah. So the whole idea for Airbnb, where did that come from you?
This episode is sponsored by Fireaway Pizza, the fastest growing pizza company in the UK. With over 100 locations, you definitely have a store near you. The founder of Fireaway was on the show not too long ago, and you can get a slice of the action by using the discount code CEOCAST at fireaway.co.uk. Once again, use the discount code CEOCAST at fireaway.co.uk.
Right, so I could give you a bit of background to where my life started, right? It's all my mindset and the way I'm driven. So Airbnb turned out to be one of the businesses that attracted me due to I'm into real estate, so I wanted to be in hospitality. I'm a customer-driven guy, and I wanted to be in a customer-facing environment.
Yeah.
My background, as you know, I wasn't born in this country, and that is, they say usually people who go for the American dream. This was an American dream with me, so I want to take this by two hands. Right, honestly, I believe I've taken it. I've got a long way to go to the bigger play I'm doing now. Mm-hmm. I'm playing bigger game here, like yourself. We're playing the bigger numbers now, especially being in Dubai. So I think it was when I was in school. I told you I grew up in Aston. Probably, lovely place, but not the best place to your personal growth and the mindset growth. Mm-hmm. And that really made me think this is going back to when I was 15 years old in year 11 in Aston. And I said, look.
Which school did you go to?
I went to Broadway School.
Okay, yeah. So for people who go there, you know that school.
Look, I'm supposed to be speaking at one of the Broadway schools soon. I want to inspire people. I went to Broadway School. I openly say I got bullied a few times, right? And that was, if it's surprising to say, that's led to Airbnb and real estate. It was that driver, like, I'm not having this. Like, I didn't look like this. I was short. All of these matters, material matters. How you look matters sometimes. I worked on myself, worked on the way I speak, articulate things. And then that led me into education. Education is key. Whether, a lot of people bash college education, university education. I'm not in total agreement of that, because it depends what you want to do as a person. Not everyone can be an entrepreneur, right?
No, of course not, no.
But many people can be.
Yeah.
If you get your education and your mindset right. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, get your education right from day one. So that means study, like do something. It's not just, you're not just going to learn science. You're going to learn key skills, critical thinking. Have critical thinking and key skills is the reason I'm sitting across the table with you and you're sitting across the table, right? And no one else, right? Other people forget. People just think entrepreneur, Airbnb, real estate, whatever. You were
started from the day I leave school, pretty much. Yeah.
You know, there's a saying that you can. Overnight success is not an overnight success. You know, everything feels like an overnight success until, you know, people don't see the background. So it feels like an overnight success for me, but it wasn't. So it started when I was 16, university. I'm a mechanical engineer, did my bachelor's, then I did my master's, so went to Aston University. So that hardship of having no friends, I genuinely had no friends. I wouldn't call them friends because, like, I look back now, I have genuine friends. You're one of my good friends. I had no friends until, say, university, like proper friends. And what that does is, because I didn't have the easy life, I had to really work for it. So I don't have a dad, just my mom and two younger brothers. One of my brothers, Suleiman, he's doing a great job working in, you met him, you know, he's one of the main guys of running my business, Your Perfect Stay in Birmingham. One of the heads, he's doing a great job. So like, I'm trying to coach him now to understand like the hardship I've had. But what I did, I used the tools I had. So this is my story. So I was giving these tools. UK, as bad as it sounds, as bad as the way that we say, oh, we don't want to go back to London right now or Birmingham, we're going to stay here. It's got the most opportunities that you're going to find for free schooling, free sixth form, university. I didn't pay for it. I've got a maintenance loan and a grant. Right? If you're coming from a poor background, if someone's listening to this and you think that you can't afford to go to university, think twice. Like, you get a loan out, government pays for it, backed by the government. You only pay, I don't know, when I graduated it was 17,000, I think it's 24,000 when you earn. So you don't have to pay it back unless you earn something, right? So for me, in my mindset, and I've known a lot of people like this, I'm like, mate, I'm taking this is my American dream.
Yeah. Taking advantage of this.
Yeah, and I did. Guess what? Did all right. Don't get me wrong. I had my fun in the university. You know, went out with my friends. That's where I got my confidence to speak, to put myself in position. And what I did, the biggest life changing, I took a gap here to do a placement year. Put myself in an office. I put myself with people like who at 20 sits with 45-year-old men or women in offices. Yeah. Who gets a chance?
Yeah, not many people,
because they don't take it. Yeah. They don't get a chance, but they don't take it. I said, Why wouldn't I leave my friends for 1 year and go into an office? Mate, that was the biggest change of my life. I was sitting in offices and people got 2 kids, 3 kids. Someone's going through a divorce. I'm like, what? Like, there's a world out there.
Yeah. All right, but look, I'm going to intervene and interject here, right? Your mindset is like this. And I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like a lot of it is to do with the fact that you came from Pakistan.
Yeah.
At how old?
14, I believe. I can't remember.
Okay, so you came to Pakistan when you were in your teens, pretty much, right?
Yeah, teens, yeah.
And
the worst time to come, mate.
Look, a lot of us people my age, we were born here. Yeah. So we kind of take things for granted, whereas, education, all that sort of things, we take it for granted, flop our grades, and it doesn't become the best of experiences for us, right? Well, someone in Pakistan, you've grown up there, you know what the education system's like. It's not the greatest, or now, to be fair, it's come up.
Yeah.
But back then, it probably weren't the greatest. So when you have come from Pakistan to the UK, you thought, okay, you know what? I'm going to make the most of what I've got here, especially man of the house, right? Essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, you haven't got any older brothers or anything?
No.
No, so yeah, exactly. You would have been man of the house, especially when you came to Birmingham.
Yeah.
So you had to kind of get the education, go down the route and become the man of the house and pay the bills and, look after your mum, your younger brother, those sort of things. So I feel like that's where your mindset's come from, which is a great thing, to be fair.
Well, it's surprising. People say, how bad it must have been for you not having a dad and X, Y, and Z, right? Like, I was like, I need to be the man. Like, as men, we're supposed to provide and protect.
Yeah,
and
regardless if we have a dad or not.
Regardless if we have a dad or not. My mother brought me to this country. It's the greatest opportunity. I mean, I didn't know, by the way, it's easier said than done right now. But when I was around my teens, I was like, I just want to become this guy. I want to become a bad boy. I want to become this. None of that matters after you're 19, 20. Like, it fades away. No one likes, you gotta have the confidence, but you gotta educate yourself in whatever industry you're going in. Mindset is the biggest thing. It's a game. I'm winning on mindset. I do lose, but the reason I keep winning is because I have a right mindset. I lose. I have deals fall through. I get rejection every day. So I knock about 100 doors before I get my first. I knocked about 100 doors probably, and I genuinely did before I got my first proper deal. Like, And people don't see that. People just see, I'm just, like you mentioned, 40 million.
Yeah.
Like, how do you think that 40 million deal has come through in Dubai to sell on our listing in Jumeirah, which is the most exclusive area in Dubai?
Yeah.
Because I built that relationship for 3 years with that guy. 3 years. He's a local guy, 3 years. So going back to the life that I had, is just like, that changed me when I got into the office environment. It was National Grid I was working for. National Grid has a monopoly. It's one of the biggest companies in the UK.
You were working at National Grid before JL?
Yeah, just for placement. Yeah,
Okay,
1 year, like you take a gap
in your
year.
uni, basically.
Yeah. So before my final year.
Yep.
And people at university, like, one of the biggest thing I can say right now is get into a placement year. It could be in any way. It doesn't have to be in a big company. You will just be with people who are not your level. They got experience on you, regardless if this is good experience, bad experience. It's an experience that you'll download off their mind into yours if you spend enough time with them. 9 to 5 I was doing.
Yeah.
Birmingham to Warwick, driving. First time I was driving and motivated. Like, loads of new things were happening. I was like, I feel like a man, right? I feel like a man, and it's a driver for a lot of young guys and young guys or even females listening to, if you want something, like, put yourself in those situations and with older people.
Yeah, get yourself in the positions. Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I say that to a lot of youngsters as well. Youngsters message me saying, I'm 16, I've just left school. What should I do? What sort of business should I do? And all that sort of stuff. Go work. Exactly that. And I say to them, specifically, go get a retail job.
Yeah, customer facing.
One of the best things that I think developed my confidence and brought me to where I am now is because I used to work in Carphone Warehouse. Yeah. And I used to get a lot of sales. I used to be forcing myself. I've got this on my whole podcast that I've done for myself, but just a brief sum up. It puts you in positions that you have to do something, otherwise you're going to get fired pretty much. If you're not performing, my manager's going to sit me down and be like, Raheem, look, it's time to go.
Yeah.
So for me to optimize my performance, I've got to go above and beyond.
Exactly.
And that's why I always advise to people watching, 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, before you start your business, you learn a lot in retail. You learn a lot about
I worked
yourself.
in retail as well, yeah.
Exactly. You learn customer service and you become a people's person, which at the end of the day, entrepreneurs need all these skills for when they grow up.
Exactly. So this is, you touched on a great point. Retail, any customer facing job. As an entrepreneur, people listening to this want to be entrepreneurs, right? There's 2 things you need: marketing and sales skills.
Yep.
Regardless of what you're in, regardless if you're in e-commerce or Airbnb, property, if you don't have marketing and sales skills, or at least as a leader, you don't have it, because you need to be a leader, right? You can hire specialists, of course you can.
Yeah.
You can outsource things. But if you don't understand this, if you're not having marketing, you're not having sales. If you're not having sales, you're not having money.
Yeah,
and there's no point being in a business for money. You're not running a charity.
Yeah.
If you want to run a charity, you can do that. But you
at the end of the day, your ambition is to be a businessman, or businesswoman, should I say?
Yeah, and to generate income and achieve a goal. Of course, money is a byproduct of all of these things.
Yeah.
So people need to understand, like, youngsters, and I do focus a lot on youngsters these days. Get on retail, like you said.
Yep.
Put yourself in offices. Because where did I learn systems and processes? Offices, right? Look where it's taken me. 40 million deals, 20 million deals, turned to, business worth more than 3 million. From where? I just copied and pasted, not reinvent anything. I'm not saying nothing new.
Yeah.
I'm saying use your brain, get out there and be uncomfortable.
Yeah, what you've done is you've taken products and processes from things you've seen and experienced and introduced into your own business. Nothing wrong with that, because what ain't broken, you don't need to fix.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I'm going to go back to something there. You're a very, very confident man. I know you can walk into a room and you can meet everyone. You fly on business class. Yeah. You meet people at the business class area in Emirates in the lounge. And what I will say is this. You mentioned something earlier in the podcast about maybe 5-10 minutes ago. The fact that when you were in school, you got bullied.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, when someone is bullied, that can knock their confidence a lot. Yeah. Make them a quiet individual. It can affect them for the rest of their life. So I want to know, firstly, what is that you got bullied for? Because the first thing I thought of was maybe because you came from Pakistan.
Correct. That was the reason.
Yeah. And secondly, how did you get your confidence back?
Look, if you're talking that age group, it didn't happen overnight. It was like, I'm talking 5 to 6 years. I'm 34 years old right now, right? My company was gradual. So there's a couple of things. One thing is putting myself in someone who's 10 years older than me, because someone who's 10 years older than you is never going to put you down if they're doing really well, or they're always going to support you because they're mature, they've been through all that, they're not boys anymore, they're not kids. Believe me, I was like, when I had my first compliment, oh, nice shirt, or nice, I'm like, what? People give compliments. Like, as a man, like, girls get loads of compliments, like on comments. As a guy, you still want something to be proud of, or something like, I've achieved something, like even success. And it was the older people, like I didn't have a dad around, and you know, my mom gives me compliments and whatnot, but I didn't have an older figure to look up to. And it was hanging around with the right 5 people. They say if you hang out with the right 5 people, you become the 6th, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Whether it's for success, whether it's money, whether it's values, like, you know, you can you can download.
Even on the negative side as well, if you hang around with 5 bum people, you'll become the 6th. So you need to hang around the right people. Exactly that.
Exactly. And the key is, a lot of people miss this, and you're doing this, travel.
Yeah.
Mate, when I started traveling, I spent 2 months in Thailand. I worked in Shanghai for nearly 2 years back and forth to Jaguar Land Rover. The reason I started flying business class, like I'm like, oh, there's a new world out there. There's like a different floor on an airplane, and then a different level of people. Like, not in a disrespectful way. These people are operating in a mindset that once you go business class, they're saying you don't want to go back to economy because your mindset just goes backwards. And what I've done is just hung around in these places, hung around in better people than me. People have to put down their ego. Like, the day I decided my ego has to go, it's never going to go 100% because we're natural human beings, right? The day I decided, mate, my growth went like linear. Like, and this is my growth was very linear in the last year.
Yeah.
By the way,
Yeah.
just so people who know me, my growth was very linear, but it wasn't like this the first 3 years.
Yeah.
Because I was putting myself, I was traveling. I was in Bali for 2 months last year. I was in Pakistan for 1 month traveling. But when I say traveling, I wasn't not partying, not going around restaurants all the time. I'm connecting like you're connecting in Dubai. Like, I'm just connecting. I'm like, oh, so what do you do? What do you do? Connect, network, and you're eventually going to see the success.
Yeah, 100%. So when you got bullied at the time, how did you feel, if you can remember it?
Well, not great, obviously.
Yeah, I can imagine, yeah.
So no, I didn't feel great. I was looking for a way out. I know, like, so I'm 34, right? So the phones were very, very new those days. Nokia 3330.
Yeah.
So people watching this at my age will remember. And
The ones you could basically throw a wall or something, they won't break.
I don't think you've seen them, have you?
I remember I had one. But because it was the
So
first
I
phone.
remember, mate, I got bullied for not having a phone.
Yeah.
That was one of the things I can talk about, right? I was quite short as well, so I got bullied for being short in year 11. I went to a rough school, very rough school, right, bro? And I don't want to really keep mentioning the name, but it's not the school fault, it's just the area where we're in, right? And I'm grateful for being in that area. Like, I've got friends there. Like, some of my good friends, they still live there, but the grown up, matured. It didn't feel great, but as I said, it drove me to an angle. I said, I'm not having this, and I need to come out of it. I'm glad it happened, basically. Like, call me lucky on that. I don't believe in luck. I create my own luck, but that's the only luck I had. I didn't die. Like, unless you're going to die, that is a different story. I didn't die. Look where I am, blessed to be here.
It gave you that fire.
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, people need to understand, like, it's not one night fire. It was over the years.
Yeah.
One thing after another, then hope. You believe in something. You gotta believe in. It's the mindset. I wouldn't even know it was happening, mate. I was around people, and my mindset was like, yeah, this is possible. Like, who would have thought at 16 I'm going to be doing a 40 million deal?
Yeah.
Who thinks that?
Who thinks that?
Now I'm thinking, mate, I was having a chat with my good friend last night. 200 million we're looking at, 300 million. Right, we've done sales in EP real estate for over 300 million in sales since we acquired the company.
That's mad.
Mindset.
Yeah, mindset. Look, I'm going to go back to the whole Airbnb property side of things in a second. But I am interested to know what your upbringing was like in Pakistan.
So I come from a city, so lived in Karachi and Islamabad. So I went to a school, so a decent school. So my upbringing was okay. Always had food in the fridge. Always had a good life. Always had an average lifestyle. So I was middle class. So nothing like, I'm not gonna sit here and cry like, I had it really, because there's some people have it really bad.
Yeah.
So I was at a city. I went to a decent school. Went to a British school, so we went to where we spoke English. So one of the reasons that English is pretty good, and I passed my GCSEs the first time, so you have to pass your English, science, and maths, right? Yeah. That was the biggest thing. I was like, I'm never going to pass English, and guess what? I passed English, nearly did English A-level as well, but probably not the best thing. The sciences, I wanted to be an engineer because my mom told me so, and it worked out well, so I have to thank my mom on that. So yeah, schooling was good, lifestyle was okay, but every place has its benefits and its cons, and the pros and the cons, right? UK has the tools to enables you to be successful, whereas these Eastern and South Asian countries don't know necessarily because of political situations, as you know, and we know. So that was the difference.
It's different because even if you are educated in these countries, it's not exactly like you can start a business tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because it don't work like that. Yeah. For the people, Pakistani, Bengali, Indian, whatever the case may be, I'm pretty sure it's similar to those sort of countries as well.
Even in Dubai right now, I will openly say what cost us 12 grand, 10 grand pounds to start my first business here.
Yeah.
How many people have that in a natural, if you're 23, 21-year-old, to put that out, come here and live here, you know how much it costs, like to live here, monthly cost for a normal guy to be able to go to these restaurants and have a decent life that you can put on social media, like what people say, what, 7-8 grand a month?
Yeah.
Living in an apartment like this?
Yeah, maybe if you live in an apartment like this, I reckon if you're living somewhere in JVC, paying £1,700 a month on rent, and you know you're not living a lavish life, I reckon you could get away with about 3 grand.
Less than that. So I've got a lot of estate agents starting right now in my company. So some of them are living at 2 grand a month.
Yeah.
Because look, I say don't float your money or lose your money by trying to live the Dubai lifestyle.
Yeah.
It is one of the most brutal places I've been.
100%. Yeah.
Like I have to consistently work hard and make sure the deals go through to make sure I can keep winning.
Yeah.
Financially and mindset wise.
Freedom here, living here.
But it's possible. One of my agents just started and he came with £5,000, I think.
Yeah.
And he's already about to close his first deal, right? He's not living. He's not going to the restaurant. He's not doing the fancy things. He's not hiring Lamborghinis. Like that's the worst thing you can do.
Right here, yeah.
Right, because if you're gonna experience, mate, people are gonna see that through you. So work on your experience and do it smartly.
Yeah, I think it was me and you were having this conversation the other day at dinner. You know, when you see people coming to Dubai and living this lifestyle of hiring Lamborghinis all the day and going out to these fancy restaurants and constantly putting on the social media, it comes across like they're not used to that. And so when they're not used to that, you can kind of see through them pretty much. Yeah, it's crazy, the lifestyle here.
It is, yeah. But we love it. This is where the next growth is for 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll find a better place this is anymore. We'll look back in 50 years, all of us, and be like, what a place this has become and the growth, and I'm part of it and you're part of it.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
I want to go to your first proper job, Jaguar Land Rover, right? What was that all about? How did that come about? And that was actually paying a really good salary as well. So I'll get into the whole story of, because you left, right?
Yeah.
Let's go into that.
Yeah, so I'm a classic example of the 9 to 5. But this, I truly believe there's so many people like me who are wasting the opportunity that I had, or I had before, and they have right now. So when I say that, so I graduated in mechanical engineering.
Yep.
Went on a graduate scheme. So people don't know what a graduate scheme is. It's like when you go to university, you apply for jobs for you because you've done a degree. That's the whole point, right? Yeah. And luckily I did a good degree. So if you're going to do a degree, I say do a degree that benefits. So mechanical engineering, I didn't, by the way, just disclaimer, I didn't know what I wanted to do in life, even until 24. Even now, I know where my goals are, but I would probably want to go in something else in about 2 years. So I'm very ambitious. So most people are like that, right? So I did mechanical engineering, didn't work that hard. I'm not going to lie. It just worked out. As in, like, I turned up every day, did the exams, did the right revision. So turning up is 80% of the battle. Yeah. Turn up to your lectures, well, to be fair, I didn't turn up to all my lectures. However,
which university did you go to?
Aston University.
Oh, you went to Aston University.
Decent, good university. I had a lot of friends in Birmingham University. So I went to Jaguar Land Rover, got in. Some of these blue chip big companies, they spend so much money on training. Mm-hmm. Like I can't even. I think they must have spent over 150 grand over the term of my life there in the career on my training, like communication skills, presentation skills. These are basic things. I've even done consultancy training like with KPMG because I was in that role of consulting with suppliers and improving businesses. That was my role. Hence, I'm in M&A now and acquiring businesses. It's improvements. So I was in a grad scheme, went through the 2 years training program and a leadership training program because I wanted to be the CEO of Jaguar Land Rover. Mm-hmm. I wanted to do the 9 to 5. I wanted to climb the career ladder. Guess what? What I didn't realize, I came across many leaders, many people who had loads of ideas, could have been entrepreneurs, but they had the knowledge and they had the experience to put it for Jaguar Land Rover. And it was amazing the way it was run. So I was part of the newest engine factory, which is in Wolverhampton.
Yeah.
I got put into this factory when it was getting built as a 22-year-old. I was like, I didn't know how. I met the Queen through that. I met the Prime Minister through that. Why? Because it was the iconic flagship, right? And I'm like, suddenly I'm 23. I'm meeting. Imagine when you meet people who are going to be around this. There was a launch of the factory.
What year is this?
2023, I think. I was 23, so 10 years ago.
So you were in the engine factory, you were saying, yeah?
Yeah, it's called an EMC engine manufacturer.
There you have it, people. If your Land Rover engine is blown up, it's because of Adam.
No, they're a good company, people work really hard there.
Yeah. No, but my point to all this is you worked up the ranks, you got yourself a really good paid job. I think you mentioned it was in the 6 figures. Yeah,
right? with a car every 6 months, a brand new range.
Benefits, you to the outside perspective, it's a really, really good, it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's a good lifestyle and it's secure as well.
Yeah, very secure.
So Why did you leave?
Look, this is again not an overnight thing. I got to a point where they posted me to Shanghai. This is where I got into the business class flight. Look, I was living a life.
JLR paid for
JLR paid. Guys, remember, if you add value to anyone, you will get paid. You get paid for the value you add. I was like, I was shocked the way they were spending money on me, and I didn't realize at back end how much money I was saving. So I was in cost savings. I was in consultancy, so I would work with the new launch. So we launched the same factory that we launched in Wolverhampton, just after Shanghai. Can you imagine? We launched in Wolverhampton, and then we're like, let's copy and paste that. So I said earlier, I was part of the launch, part of the process, setting up the process. They've sent me there, because there's such a shortage of skill. They were like, there's no one else to send. I was like, I'm 25 years old. Applied for it, passed. They doubled my salary. They gave me a car. Said,
seriously, they doubled your salary as well?
It's technically doubled my salary, near enough double. I'm like, I'm 25 and a half, right? Nearly 26, I think I was. Can you imagine, how old are you? 26, right?
26 now, yeah.
I was like, everything made it. That's what my mom asked for. That's what the world looks at. Range Rover parked on a drive. If you want to talk about fun, you were having all the fun going out when I want to go out. And then I'm like, oh, so driver's going to come pick me. Emirates driver's going to come and pick me up to drive me to the airplane. Yeah. I'm like, wow, got it, done. Then after 2 years of doing all of this, I'm like, there's got to be something bigger. This life is so... I just started my life. I was 27 by the time. Just started. What can I do with this skill that I have? This came from because I was with CEOs and directors. They were thinking big stuff, big deals. One deal is like 100 million. I'm like, oh, so I can use the same skill. The only difference they have is experience. If I put myself around these people every single day, or I go to private clubs and network, which is what we do now, right? We do deals with my average... I don't think I have a friend below like a friend that I hang out with every day below 40. I don't think I have I don't see. I have friends. Yeah, your friend. Yeah. It's like, and I'm just like, that's just become a norm now.
Yeah.
You just think that's life, and then that was the change. I came back to the UK. I still remember my boss. And one thing I do say, if any of my Jaguar Land Rover colleagues are listening to this, and they may do, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. Especially my bosses. They were my mentors. So use what you have. If you're in an office right now, 9 to 5, you don't realize how much opportunity this company has given you in terms of training and even turning up on time. If you want to supposed to start at 9 o'clock, you don't understand that you can lose a deal in Dubai if you don't turn up when they want you to do, it's no respect. If you're working with the local here and they said, oh, I've got a 100 million deal, and you're like, yeah, I'm coming, don't answer your phone, gone, mate. Gone. Yeah, someone else is taking it. Yeah. That's the real world.
You got to grab onto the opportunity as much as you can.
So where did you learn that? When no one comes out and learns it from day one.
Yeah, no one learns it from school or anything day one.
I got told off. I know this guy, I can't mention his name, but this guy was my boss and he was 30 then. And he said, I came late, and this story I've never really told anyone, several customers. I came late, and every day I used to come up late, and I was high performer, right? I was in the leadership program. And he said, what do you think you're doing wrong? I was like, nothing, there was traffic. He was like...
How late were you?
5 minutes.
Okay.
So I'm like, I'm 5 minutes late, right? And I'm like... it's only 5 minutes and I'm still performing. I'm still doing this. Mistakes happen. And I even if I come late now and I don't come late as often and I'm working on it. He said to me, if you think you're performing, I'll leave you to that. And I'm like, what an idiot. You think you're patronizing me. He goes, mate, if you think there was traffic. And I was like, there was traffic. And I'm like, there was genuinely traffic on M6. He goes, mate, you can't, if you think you're smart, you can't work this out. His point was, there is always an excuse for losing, rather than looking internally. You could have woke up and could have came in at 7 o'clock, even if you start at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, you could have got it earlier.
Yeah, because you're not self-reflecting, you're not self-aware. It's all about mindset. I keep talking about from the start, mindset. It's like, and he drew a graph. He goes, there's a graph of the sort of top performers. They linearly go up. You are here, and I was actually factually I was one of the top performers.
Yeah,
it got to my head. But it gets to anyone's head at 24, and if you're a top performer on a good salary, good car, everyone's telling you, this is why your circle is important. Everyone around my circle outside this place was saying, mate, you're killing it, right? So anyway, that was the biggest change, and he was one of my biggest catalysts to make me think. Then my boss, then my senior boss, he was like, once I didn't bring a notepad and a pen. Honestly, guys, this has the realest thing I'm saying. He was like, what are you doing? We're trying to work on £100 million saving or something big number. I'm like, no, I've got a photographic memory.
Yeah.
I didn't have photographic
memory.
He was like, first of all, I'm not even going to reply to that, mate. Get out.
Yeah.
I'm like, did you just tell me to get out? So first thing, I'm like, I want to tell HR. I'm like, he was, in my head, I'm just like, who talks to someone like that?
Yeah.
Comes up, puts his arm around me. He goes, Adam, I don't know if you realize why I told you to do that. You're one of the most highest performing people here. All these, you're letting yourself down because the perception of the people that you think, you look like a kid. I don't look like a kid then. Perception is reality. One of the biggest things I can say, perception is reality. People have a perception no matter what you think you are. If you look like a 20-year-old with, you've got no facial hair, you look like a kid, you dress like a kid, you made it in this group, there's a 50-year-old man who's done this 20 times over. You turn up with no pen and notepad, basic things, he's not going to take you seriously. Then you're going to blame that, oh, he's looking at you because you're a kid. No, he's looking at you because you haven't done the basics that you had to go through, and you think you're too much. So to summarize that was the little changes of these bosses, and they're still on my LinkedIn, and I thank them. I text one of them and I said, thank you. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be taking a notepad into a room. I wouldn't be telling my guys last night, bring a notepad.
Tell me this then, yeah, and this is interesting point. If anything goes wrong in your life or business deals now in today's day and age, do you automatically blame yourself and look at and think to yourself, it's got to be something I had done?
Yeah. No, so I take responsibility.
Yeah.
If you don't take responsibility, even if you lose, even like it's happened to me recently in the last year, the amount of money we made in the year before is not as great. That's the reality. People are bullshitting you. If the economy is tough in the UK, but I was there blaming my team. Oh, guys, you're supposed to be leaders. You've not done this. Ultimately, whose accountability is it? Mine, right? Because I could go in a spiral saying, Raheem, it's your fault. I gave you the responsibility. Yes, I did give it. Yes, okay, it was your responsibility. I paid you 50 grand a year, right?
Yeah.
But who's accountable for this business? It's me. So yes, I put my hand up. It's hard. Your feelings come into, your emotions come into. It's hard. Like I'm not a robot. I do go home, can't sleep sometime. And this is why entrepreneurship now, you got to take responsibility. You got to cut your ego out. The day you cut your ego out, your success is linear.
Yeah.
If you told me today, Adam, you're not as good as you think, believe me, I'm going to go back. Maybe in front of your face, I may not agree. I'll say, okay, cool, thanks for your opinion. I'll go back. I wonder why Raheem is saying that. Of course, you got to cut out the haters. That's the given, right? Yeah. But everyone's not hating. This is one of the biggest things social media has created. Like, oh yeah, I'm not going to listen to anyone. I'm doing what I'm going to do. Mate, if I did that, I wouldn't be sitting across the table in Dubai together with you and talking these good things.
Yeah, you've always got to learn to take criticism from other people. And even if you don't want to face it, as you said, go back and reflect upon where it is they've said what they've said and try and learn from it, and pick up. And that's the only way you can really develop yourself, develop your skills, or develop whatever it is that they're talking about.
Exactly.
It's the best thing to do.
Even my leadership, I class myself as one of the best leaders I have been as my version, right? And I work really hard. I still train. I've got coaches. I've got mentors. I'm training every day, by the way, guys. I'm still learning 20% into my life, 30% into my life. Like my business partner, Dee, said the other day, we had I'm like quite open about this. I had a tough day, and, I wasn't happy with one of the agents, and I said something, and, I took it I took it really, really rough. And he said, look, it's not right the way you did it. And my first reaction was, it was 7 o'clock in the evening, tired, it was hot. I'm like, listen, mate, I know what I'm doing, let me do it. And I'm like, actually, he does have a point. Like, take your emotion out of decision making, and make quick decisions and take feedback. He's not saying it, he's saying it for his own good achievement because he's a business partner, and for me. Why would he want to put me down? Right? And I took that, and today, Monday morning today, I went to a Monday morning meeting with my agents, calm, and I was like, take a step back, Adam. I think you've had 2 tough weeks. It's tough training people. So yeah, that was an example. Yeah. Take your ego out and take your emotions out of decision making. Yeah.
Going back to your job, what was the actual ticking moment for you to say, you know what, I'm going to leave now. It's time for me to do more.
People don't like to say it was the bigger goal, a sense of achievement and money.
Okay.
For me, it was like, look, I'm working for 100, say 6 figure, right? I'm working for this, but the back of that, the company's making 800K. Right? What if I started my own consulting company? What if I grew up my property business, and I could see the numbers, right? So the funny thing is, you can if you start connecting as a person who works in a job, and start putting yourself with the HR managers or the operations manager, understand how the business cycle flow works, and you start seeing where the value is added to the top of the end customer. Believe me, mate, you will just be like, there's a bigger world out there. Yeah. So I was working with senior managers, senior quality managers, board members. I'm like, there is a big end value to this, or what I'm doing in the cycle, in the flow cycle of the business. So that was the changing moment for me. I came back, I said, I've got a lot to add. risk taking. I was taking a big risk, and I said, you know what, I'm going to go into property, and that's where the thing, because property is the safest. Probably this could be not as fast as some other businesses, but property and real estate is the safest way to grow your wealth and acquiring businesses. There's two things I could do at that moment. I wanted to go into property and Airbnb.
Yeah, it's the old school generation. You know, my dad and my uncles and everyone, they always say, you know, at the end of the day, whatever opportunities and crypto things that come out and all these sort of investments, at the end of the day, you cannot go wrong with bricks and mortar, because that is always going to appreciate in value. You may have times in the market where it dips down and you lose some money, but that's always going to pick back up.
Exactly.
And in 5-10 years time, the property you bought for 500 grand may be worth 700 grand without you even doing anything. Plus, you know, your normal rent and all that sort of stuff, it's going to go up. So for that reason, you can't go wrong.
Well, look, in Dubai, you know, there's people have grown their properties from 2020 to now, like doubled it, nearly tripled in some big areas, right? Yeah. We're in this market. We just done nearly 300 million of sale in Dubai, in the real estate company that we just acquired. And some of the people I'm seeing, the sellers, I'm like, what? You bought this for 8 million and now you're selling this for 17, like 70 million AED, right? And I'm thinking, like, I wish I bought it. Yeah. Like I was here. And
plan developments, I'm assuming.
Yeah, some of them off plan, some of them villa off plan, right? Like Al Barari, I'm looking at this area called Al Barari, right? You know, so that was one of them. And I'm just like, and off plan as well. Like if you look at lower numbers, like some people bought in Dubai Hills has been one of the biggest growth areas in Dubai.
Yep.
I'm looking to move. I'm moving there in 2 months. And one of my sellers bought his property off plan for 1.4 and he sold 1.5 and he sold it for 2.3. Did nothing. And he's been rented on Airbnb since he got it on handover. So he made cash flow through Airbnb, through our property management, Your Perfect Stay in Dubai, and then he sold it through us. And I was looking at the title deed, and I'm like, on the transfer day, I was like, where was I? What was I doing? Like, you know, I make mistakes as well, and you got to be around the right people, and I wasn't around the right people like that. You know, I was like, it's COVID times, and I don't want to invest. Save it.
But you know what, this is why I'm glad I'm hanging around you and I'm friends with you now as well, because we went to view a couple of places the other day off plan. If people don't know what off plan is, the property's not actually built, it's getting built and all that sort of stuff, but you get it at cheaper rates.
Yeah.
So we went to go look at one, and you know, the amount of money you can make, when the building's complete, you can sell it then, but not even then, once you've got the sheet to say that this, you know, I've got this apartment in this building and it's going to be developed in 3 years, you may put down 1.5 mil and you could probably sell it for 1.6.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So you're an example. I'm glad you bring that up. And you were sitting there, you saw the whole process and what the development is going to look like. And a lot of people do a lot of flips on off plan. Yeah. So it's easiest market to get into for me off plan. Like what, 10% you need to put down? Like one of them you're looking at 10%, one of them was 20%.
Yeah.
And then the next payment is not until 9 months, and the next payment after that not until 6 months. It's like what, you're putting down £70,000 and you're getting a place in Dubai.
It depends how much the property is.
Yeah. But it's starting, I would say 50,000 to 70,000 you can put down, and then you can go up to like 500 and it's a million. But you're getting a place in downtown or down in the Dubai Creek Harbour near that, like the Creek Towers getting built. And I could see how much you were enjoying that. You're thinking you're going to have your piece of land. You've got done the London.
I was thinking, I've got the view of everything and all that sort of stuff. It was next to the Creek Tower. Yeah. You know, we probably still end up going for it. Do you know what I mean? It should be wicked.
And you've done the London market as well. So like a lot of people listening to this have been in London, and this is the new London for me.
Yeah.
And you've done it. You and your dad has done it.
For me, I see London as a point. Unless you're buying to flip and you find some great deals, and don't get me wrong, there is, because we've seen examples from people like Property by Kazi, good friend of ours, and he does it all day long, right? Yeah. But on the other end of things, where you're buying a property, looking to rent it, there's money to be made in it, but not as much money as you are gonna make here.
Yeah.
And I see this now as a place to say, rather than for me personally investing into London or UK for that matter, to come to Dubai and bring it here, because this is where you're going to see a lot more capital appreciation and a lot more gains. Yeah. And it's going to build you more wealth.
Exactly. And Dubai is looking to grow its population by 8 million to 8 million, 8.5 million by 2030, around 2030. So you can see the stability, the sustainability of Dubai is way better than what it was in 2008. Yeah. Families are moving, as you know. It's not just, people who are like me and you. There's families with kids, schooling. So when you bring your kids and family, it helps the area capital appreciate, because people are more permanent than they were in 2008 or 12. This is probably the best time to invest. Like I'm investing. Some of my best friends, my family, they're investing in Dubai, and you can't go wrong, because especially if you're buying off plan, you're buying it at a cheaper square foot. square feet in that area, especially if you're buying with a good developer like Shoba or Imar. You're going the right way. And if you get the one thing I'll say to your listener, like yourself as well, you came to me for a reason, right? If you get the right education about any market, you can get the right results over time, right? And if you go with the people who are doing what they say they're doing, you will get the right results. So going with the right agent is very important. Going with the educated agent is very important. Going with people who know the laws and the policies of DLD and RERA, and going with people who understand what the resale opportunity is.
Yeah, I mean, you taught me a lot of these things that I didn't even know.
Yeah. And it's important. It's technical information important because, like people don't know about, do you spend 2 million, you get a golden visa now, and like these type of things are attractive to a lot of investors, and then you get residency for 10 years.
Exactly.
You're chilling. Dubai is doing a lot of things, and we like it's for good for us. Like we got more flexibility now, so we can move our families here. And I'm sure you said to me you're looking to move
exactly, man. It's a future plan. Eventually in the future, I think I will stay a bit more in the UK, a little bit more, maybe a couple of years, if that at max. But then after that, I'm here.
But you got
100%.
You got the freedom lifestyle as well. That means you're gonna fly back when you want to.
Yeah, I mean the freedom lifestyle. I can come back and forth any time I want. But I mean, in terms of actually, putting my base here and living here, having my home here, family home, eventually having kids, wife, all that sort of stuff, it will be in Dubai 100%. I won't even let that happen in the UK.
Exactly, yeah.
This is a good point to go into your real estate business. But before I do, as we're speaking about, off-plan buildings and all that sort of stuff, and Dubai's vision for 2030, Vision 2030, I want to ask because I haven't actually spoken to you about this. What do you think of Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030? And the property developments and that side of things. You looked into it?
Yeah, of course we keep up to date with all the real estate marketing and growth, and I'm very much interested in market growth and economics. I'm into understanding how money and the economics work, and I'm very big on that. So for my opinion, this is my opinion only, it's a long way to go to get to the growth level that we're at, the sustainability level of Dubai. There's a lot of laws may need changing, may not need changing, a lot of confidence is required from consumer. So, you haven't, you got to build a consumer confidence to allow the growth of capital appreciation and the investment success. Yes, it could be a time to get in and now, but you're looking at long-term growth.
Yeah.
Whereas Dubai is growing so fast and sustainably, you can't compare Saudi in terms of most people say long-term, but they look at 5 to 10 years, right?
Yeah.
What you're getting in Dubai, you can see you're sitting in Marina, prices have doubled in a lot of places, where Dubai Hills, I said, you're probably not going to get. That's my opinion. Looking at the facts that we have around, it's got a long way to go. A long way to build a consumer confidence, which is only going to be built by people moving there and people, government. They are changing a lot of things, like the football thing that's happening. That helps build consumer confidence. Ronaldo's playing there, and I'm not into football, but someone else is going.
Part of the 2030 stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. So I think the way I describe this, Dubai is in a race, or Saudi Arabia is in a race with Dubai. And the Creek Tower is an example. They want to build the next biggest because of Saudi Arabia or Qatar. I think there's another country that's building this. But that is always going to keep Dubai ahead. And I wouldn't be. I've been in the business for a long time, and I've been around a lot of corporations, buying businesses myself. I haven't touched on the US stuff. We're backed by a US hedge fund as well, and family offices. So we get a lot of their experience, and I'm talking other experiences downloaded into me. Remember that, guys? Like, I'm not born, that's why we read books. That's why we work with like hedge funds and family offices. These people have done finance for a long time.
Yeah.
So we're backed by one of the finance family office and hedge funds and US backing, and understand how US has been through a cycle and many cycles. So yeah, Dubai has got the win over Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, see, what I say to people, and this is my opinion on it as well, right? Whenever I say I'm going to invest in Dubai, that's my plan and all that sort of stuff. The thing that other person may say is, what about Saudi Arabia? They've got the whole Vision 2030 going on. They've got all these developments and all this sort of stuff. They're going to, they're coming for Dubai. And my instant reply to them is this: do you think Dubai are going to halt everything
exactly
for Saudi Arabia to catch up? At the end of the day, it's going to be competition.
It's a competition.
Tourists are going to go to one place or the other, Dubai or Saudi Arabia. There's no way, I don't see it happening, where Dubai are going to let Saudi Arabia overtake Dubai's currently economy or anything like that.
Exactly. It's a race.
It's a race, literally.
Who's going to win? So the towers is the best. So they look at the tallest tower in the world. No, Dubai's not going to let it be the tallest tower in the world.
Yeah.
The biggest thing for is stability. Dubai has stability now with laws, which suit Western clients. There's a casino coming. May or may not be a good thing, but it's good for economics. But good for further growth. When a casino comes to this type of country, you're bringing the Chinese investors, you're bringing the Chinese clientele.
A whole load of people.
You know, since COVID as well, a lot of Chinese want to invest in Dubai. So you can see, if I'm an investor myself, right? So I'm looking at these things. I'm like, look, I can look into 5 years, and I'm like, you're looking at pricing, keep going further ahead. If you buy in the right place, look, the thing is, you can't just buy anywhere in Dubai and be like, yeah, it's going to double.
Yeah.
Like, that's not happening, mate. I know people who bought it out 45 minutes, 50 minutes away, and they're like, oh, why is my price not going to? I was like, mate, yeah, because you bought the wrong development. You thought it was a great...
You bought in the middle of the desert.
Yeah. It's like buying, you might as well buy in Saudi Arabia, right?
Yeah.
It's got growth.
Yeah, it's on the border of it.
Yeah, Dubai is increasing, right? It's expanding, right? Expo 2020. By the time the Dubai gets there, it's another 6 to 7 to 8 years. So if you want to wait 6 to 7 to 8 to 10 years, yes, invest in far right areas like that, and not educate yourself.
Yeah.
Like, Saudi Arabia is a long-term game. I'm playing my cards like where it's stability but fast growth as well at the same time.
Yeah. And what I will say is, I think there's going to be a lot of Muslims watching this off the back of yourself and off the back of me. We have a Muslim following at the end of the day. And people are going to hear things like, oh, you know, Dubai's bringing casinos and they're bringing drinks and all this sort of stuff and all that. No one's saying we're going there. At the end of the day, it's what's going to boost the economy and make our investments better.
Correct.
So they can do what they want.
Yeah.
It's not affecting us. We're not going there.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side of things as well, you look at Saudi Arabia. I'm not going to go into the religion side of things too much, but we can, you know, it's a bit mad.
Yeah.
But anyway, real estate business, acquiring and merging acquisitions, you know, so what was the whole decision with that?
Well, look, since I've been started so many businesses, businesses failed. I started a cleaning business, didn't really go so well. We never made any money on it because supplement the Airbnb. You know, younger days, I always wanted to start a business. So now I'm into mergers and acquisitions and acquiring and buying businesses. Just like you buy property, you buy a business with income from day one, and you get the asset most of the time.
Yeah.
So it was for me, like, I've started no businesses. I need to buy something which generates income from day one, rather than buying a buy-to-let and to get £200 rent net after taxes and everything, like after paying mortgage. Why would I do that? Why would I put a deposit down for like £100,000 and then get £500 a month? Like, I can use that £100,000 to buy an income generating business with a team in place, 17-year running, for example, or 15-year running, and get an income generating, plus get an asset, plus long-term growth, and look to exit after. So the M&A game is quite big. It's been around in US for a long time. It's been around everywhere for a long time, but US is more buying and selling businesses. UK is not so much. People don't build to sell.
Yep.
I'm building my businesses to sell and exit potentially in 10 years, 7 years. So that's what one of my drivers was. It's the best way to create wealth, including property. So this is not just what I'm doing M&A. I'm doing real estate, and, you know, staying in the real estate market in terms of like Airbnb, and coming to Dubai, buying a business, right? So we bought this EP Real Estate, luxury real estate sales and lettings. The company was founded in 2016. Wasn't doing so well. There was a dispute, so we got this opportunity to come to our table because of our network. So networking is key, guys. Networking has allowed me to acquire this business, a real estate luxury real estate business in Dubai, which is based in JLT. We got over about 15, 16 agents, you know, doing big deals, right? Moving from UK, moving from Spain, moving from Turkey, moving from Iran. Like, we're changing lives, mate. We're changing lives, and it's the most exciting thing I've ever done by buying a business. And, you know, I had some staff there, got rid of some, got some new one in, and changing the culture, putting my own stamp on it. Like, so how old is this business? 2016, 4, 5, 6 years, 6 years old business. You know, income generated, presence already in the market. You know, it holds value. So rather than starting a business from day one, I've got to hire people. Like, I set up the process here. Well, okay, I still have to work in this business. Like, you know, it's not always, oh yeah, but a business is making money. You got to start somewhere. So for me, that was a driver. It's the best way to create, increase your wealth. And you know, one of the other things that people don't see, this is a bit technical. I buy hotels in the UK because I'm in the hospitality Airbnb business. I have experience. So when I approach these sellers, so when we approach them cold, you know, when they see my background, you don't have to have the background. You can still buy businesses. You know, I'm buying a hotel. I put an offer in for 3.3 million in Birmingham, looking at another one in Southampton for 6 million. You know, end of the day, when the EBITDA, which is the, you know, like say the net profit, it's about 2 million or 4 million in about 10 years of 10 hotels, I can sell that at 10 multiples. So I can sell that at 3 million and, 3 multiples or 4 multiples. So 3 times 3, I can sell that at as 9 million, right? So I can sell that 9 million, exit in when I'm 40, or buy 10 of them and exit at 50. That's where my driver is. So it's a long play. Buy businesses, grow them, use my passion. Not anyone can do it. You got to have business acumen.
Yeah, you got to know what you're doing.
Yeah, you got to learn. You got to have the right education, the right mentorship, have the right education. Understand you can buy businesses, with little money as well as you buy property. And then we ended up acquiring this with very little money. And now look where we are. We're doing deals for 40 million, 50 million.
So how long do you see yourself having this business for then? What's like your sort of end play, your goal plan on time frame scale?
Look, I'm immersed into the business fully. The business is here to stay. What we call is we're building a portfolio of businesses.
Yep.
More so in UK. This is where the business acquisition is more so in the UK. This is the only one that we bought in Dubai. We're buying hotels. So if I buy 5 hotels and I can take that to 10 million profit or whatever and sell that at times 3, I would look to sell in 10 years to someone else like me as a group.
Yeah.
So I would sell as a group, and a group is always worth more, and I would be looking at like 50 mil. So I'm looking at an exit with a big chunk of cash. So I'll be 42, 43. And I'm like, I've just exited at 50 million. That's the big play for me here. Like, people don't realize how much wealth creation there is. And there was someone else looking to buy. This is probably the best time. There's a lot of older generation. It's because of the economy we're in, especially in the Europe market and US.
Yeah.
US and Europe, where people are looking to exit. People are scared. People don't want to take the risk. They're worried about energy bills. Like someone 60 years old. Why does he want to? He doesn't have the drive me and you have. And he's running the business for 17 years. And he's like, the bills are going up. I don't know if I'm going to make profit. I haven't got the energy. So this is when you come up. This is the greatest opportunity to take over wealth that someone has started and double it or improve it.
Yeah.
This is the greatest opportunity of lifetime we're ever going to get. We're in the tough times. Risk levels are high. And people looking to sell and exit, take the money for them. If I buy one for 3 million, 3 million is a lot of money day one when he transact.
Yeah.
He's 62 years old, one of the sellers.
Yeah.
What do you think he's going to do with 3 million? He's going to go stay in Spain. He's going to buy a property in Spain. He's going to sit on the beach. Like, he's happy. He's genuinely happy. I'm happy because I've taken over someone's income generating of 500k, whatever the numbers are, net.
Yeah.
It's already doing it. And now I can put my own stamp on it.
Yeah, now you can put your own stamp on it. You can.
So that's the story of how I got into this, basically.
Well, okay, so what I will ask, aside from the real estate business, so the service accommodation business, Airbnb, is that a plan to sell as well in the future?
Look, maybe in the future if it's part of the group, part of our hotel hospitality group. So yeah, potentially if the numbers are right,
Go on.
Yeah, if the numbers are right, we can build the right process because that's the business I started from scratch, right? Built a team. We have over 20 people working in the company, cleaners, maintenance, property managers, drivers, whatnot, admin, customer service agents, sales agents. We got the whole structure there, which is what makes it sellable. Like, a lot of people don't understand. They start businesses and they don't think your business is not a business until it's sellable.
Yeah.
Right? So what makes it sellable? Like, you got to have right processes. You got to have the right team, the right leadership, first line management. Because if the business can't run without me, it's not really a business. It's a job.
Yeah, exactly that.
So I'm here. My phone is not ringing. Who's running? My brother's the lead in it, Suleiman, and then the team underneath him, the cleaners and the supervisors.
Yeah.
It's a sellable business now. Because you could say, Adam, how much is that making right now? Rather than buying a property, I might buy that because it's probably going to cost me the same.
Yeah, a business is sellable is when you can swap out the CEO of it and it doesn't make any difference to the chain below it. That's when it's fine.
Yeah.
It's like there's that diagram that shows it as well, right? Like, imagine you have 2 pyramids. You got one pyramid like this and the CEO's at the bottom. If you take him out, the whole thing's going to collapse.
Yeah.
Whereas if you have one like this and the CEO's on the top, you replace him, that pyramid underneath ain't going to change. Exactly. Nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
So when you make it to a point where, the CEO's at the top, everything's underneath him, under the bottom.
Exactly.
Then it's fine. Then you can sell it and then you can move on, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But other way around, it doesn't work so much.
Exactly. So one of the biggest things is create leaders.
Yeah.
So we're creating the next generation of leaders. My job is to find the right talent and scale that talent. Mm-hmm. That is it. That is my motto in my head. Money is a byproduct of all of this.
Yeah.
Some of the agents, you didn't get a chance to meet some of my agents because I took you around to show the properties. But some of the agents are like, they're going to be the next leaders. They need to take my place as a sales director. Mm-hmm. And they know that 1 or 2 of them are like, oh, I'm ready for this, because the more money they make, the more money their agents make, they make more money.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I make more money.
Yeah.
It's like a pyramid, like you explained, right? We are focused on creating the next generation of real estate luxury agents in Dubai, right? A lot of people here are just agents. I want to create leaders so they understand the mindset, they understand sales, obviously, and then they're creating more to grow and help your investors. Who's the biggest important individual? It's the client, it's the customer, and the customer has to understand that we have got leaders who can lead and make decisions and educate it, and be able to educate others in the team.
Yeah. So what I want to clarify here as well, right, and this will be good for the audience, especially if they're looking to come and buy something in Dubai. You mentioned earlier in the podcast that, you're currently in the process of looking to sell a villa worth about 45 million dirhams.
Yeah.
Is that your specialty, or can I come along with £600,000? What's that about? I don't know, 2.5 to 3 million.
Yeah, about
dirhams.
3 million. Yeah, 3 million.
Can you acquire those sort of deals?
Yeah, so we do both models. So we do the luxury model for the big boys, and they got the big cash, and they want to move out from Chelsea to Dubai. This is what we specialize in. We also have a team that specializes on, off plan. They specialize on like a 1 million dirham sale, or rentals or whatnot. So yes, we specialize. So we have teams, leaders. People can contact me directly as well, whatnot. But we have a specialist in different markets. So we have specialists in Dubai Hill, specialists in downtown, we have specialists in Marina, and then different towers. So one tower might not be as exclusive, right? And one tower maybe, and we have specialists in that. And so yeah, we support both markets. And the best way to look at it is we can educate the investor. We're not saying that people make mistake investing, they don't get educated. The best way to get educated is to learn from someone who's been in the market for years and years and years. So yes, so people can invest. People should look to invest in whatever the startup market, or you want to go at the 40 million.
Yeah, the 40 million. Yeah. What I was going to ask off the back of that is like your service accommodation business, selling that. How would that work? Because if a lot of them are rent to rent, it's not the asset that you own exactly. Obviously, I know you own the whole business behind it, but how does that all work then?
So it works on income. So how much income we do? So net profit. And multiple of 3. So if we're net profit $500,000, for example, you multiply by 3. It's an example, right? Standard 1.5 million.
Yeah.
Right. Good question about assets. So there's no assets in this rent to rent. My businesses are split in different entities.
Yeah.
For various reasons, right? So you have your rent to rent business with no assets, for example, right? You base that on, for example, contracts. How long does your contracts run? So my contracts run for 5 years with the biggest developer, one of the biggest developers in the UK.
Was in your lease.
Yeah, the lease, the commercial lease, right?
Yeah.
So the contracts, agreements, the corporate leases, how long did it run? That's one way to look at it. Second way to look at it, who's your leaser, who's your supplier? If he was just a random Joe down the road, the business is not that stable. You can pull out. You can have a person. We're working with one of the biggest, with the biggest developer, Model Living. They are the biggest developer, one of the biggest developers, and they have beautiful buildings, luxury, and we have good contracts for them, good stable contracts. That creates value to sell, right? Then your team, your structure, your processes, how automated it is, how good the system, how good the leadership is. So all of these are factors into a sellable business. Because I could just run it and it's not going to be sellable because I have to be on it. People have to call me. No one has to call me now. I love to be in the bit. I enjoy running business. I'm only 34 years old. What's the point living for me if I'm not improving something and improving your life as a customer?
Yeah.
So yeah, these are the points that create a sellable business. So guys, if you by all means, I want people should start their own businesses. That's the way you learn business acumen, right? You can't go buy a business, but if you don't train and educate yourself on how to run a business, you're gonna fail. Like I'm open about this, right? So I've educated myself by corporate life of 95. Took full two-hand advantage. Then I ran a business for more than 5 years.
Yep. And
and now I'm buying businesses, right? But I could have still bought business 5 years ago. But I would have to train myself in educating, mentor myself in like, how do you do post-acquisition? How do you lead a team of someone who's 45 years old working there for 20 years? Those are training. So yeah, that's how you create a sellable business. You put the structure and the systems in place and the team in place, which creates value. You don't have to have an asset. Assets only comes with like hotels or machinery and manufacturing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can still.
This is why I like the model because, same way you got into the Airbnb business, right? Is you didn't obtain the asset. You didn't have to put a lump sum down for the property, of £50,000 deposit, let's call it, whatever the case is.
Started with £2,000.
Started with £2,000. And this is the beautiful thing about it because someone like myself or even someone younger than me who's saved up £2,000 could potentially do it. So if you will, I want a kind of like a Airbnb for dummies guide for like how I would go. So if you're talking to me right now and I say to you, Adam, look, I want to get into Airbnb. What's the first thing I'll do?
First thing you do, you talk to everyone and you tell everyone that I am, if it's rent to rent, look, I'm looking to rent a property. which will help you get guaranteed rent at the least hassle, and your life is going to be hassle-free for 3 years.
Yep.
Like, you tell everyone what you do. First of all, you got to create your mindset right. And
when you say everyone, who you saying? Exactly.
Everyone.
Okay, yeah.
That's the point. That is the... Because you don't know. If I speak to your mate tonight, I will go for dinner with you, and I don't know, he might have 10 properties, but I've just told him that I do Airbnb.
Okay, yeah.
And I just not told him I do Airbnb, I help landlords get better returns and stable returns with a stable company without tenants hassle. So with corporate leases, there's no tenants hassle. You haven't got the drama of someone messing your house up long term, because it always stays in a 5-star condition. Because look at this property, like you can see right around, it's nice, clean.
Yeah,
because we have cleaners coming everywhere. It's like a hotel at Hilton, Marriott, right? So these are your selling points. You want to do that. Yes, then the second thing you want to do, you want to get the leads as well. Not just tell people we're going to get cold leads. You want to find out who's renting. Go on the portals, go on Rightmove, go on Open Rent. Then you want to reach out to these people. There are obviously there's techniques to the way to reach out, because you're going to get a lot of rejection. You know, a lot of rejection is going to come. So you got to reach out to a lot of landlords.
Yep.
Whether you do guerrilla marketing, whether you go knock doors, whether you walk into estate agents, you got to do all of these things. It's not easy. If it was easy, everyone will be doing it.
Yeah, 100%.
Walk into doors, knock. As I say, would knock. If you knew the 100 door was your first deal, you would knock 99 doors very quickly.
Yeah,
right?
100%. Yeah.
So knock doors is a numbers game. So you gotta go out and knock doors for agents. So get your criteria. You want a 1-bed or 2-bed in London. So, you know, wherever, Ilford or Wembley, wherever you are, say, I want to do this area for this market for tourists, for example, right?
Okay, yep.
I want this. I'm going to go break this down. I'm going to go search on Open Rent, 2-bedroom apartment, obviously market rent, and approach this landlord in a certain way. I go into more detail when I coach my clients and stuff, like how to approach challenges. So the same principle applies when I'm approaching sellers for M&A, buying businesses. I'm doing the same thing when I'm getting challenges for getting a rent-to-rent.
Okay, yep.
So I'm getting the same challenge when I approach the developer. So we only work with developers now and blocks and apartment hotels. That's what we call it.
Yeah.
We don't call it Airbnb anymore, but it is ultimately the same model. We're getting the same challenges this person's going to get, or you're going to get, because you haven't done Airbnb yet and you're looking to do it. You're going to get the same challenge. It's the approach, it's the challenges, and, you know, selling them the benefits. Right, so what I'm saying, sell your customer the benefits of the service, show them the value. People will give it to you, but you will get a lot of no's. And it's who's got the most resilience, who's got the most discipline, and the consistency. I like to say this a lot of time. A lot of people can't outwork me, and when I see someone outwork me, I step up my game, because I'm like, there's no difference with this guy. I'm an able person, able human being with a good mindset. How is he outworking me? And then that's where I look at other people who are high performance. And then I do these things in parallel, and my discipline and my consistency and my mindset leads to a first deal.
Yeah. What would you say are the biggest unexpected costs when it comes to having a business like this?
So our business in rent-to-rent?
Yeah.
Yeah, so biggest unexpected cost is if you don't look at your energy bills, which is the biggest thing that's happening now. You don't look at your end market. Who's your end customer? So if you don't start your game, if you don't start your business backwards, you're a reverse engineer. You got to reverse engineer from your end customer to getting your deal. So if you have your end customer as a tourist flying in from Saudi Arabia to UK in London, a family of 3, and they're flying, what do you need? What are their requirements? What would a Saudi Arabian family want with 2 kids in London?
Yeah, well, 2-bedroom is probably going to be
a nice place, luxurious place, because they're quite most likely rich.
Yeah.
Most likely they only come into London because London is one of the best places for a lot of these people. So in a nice area, clean. So you start narrowing it down what you're looking to do. They said this is what you do for first property. Get on it, first property. Get your end customer. Could be a contractor. Could be builders. There's a big market for builders. There's a big market for the luxury market. Work backwards. Like I work backwards. So if you as an avatar, I'm like, what does Raheem want when he comes from London? Flies over the next day. He just books his ticket and comes.
Yeah.
He wants ease of check-in. He wants a nice place on JBR. Like JBR, he can go and get on his scooter, get his car.
Yeah, as I do.
and I'm working backwards. I'm like, he wants nice views.
Okay.
He wants a balcony.
You're always looking at and thinking about the end user, the end customer, and trying to cater as much as you can to their needs.
Exactly. So, and then I'm like, okay, there's loads of you then. Like, loads of people want the nice views. Then I'm like, going on the hunt to get the product. You go on a hunt to get the product. Right product, you look at the economics of it, you understand that these numbers are going to work. Then, you go and do your sales.
Yeah.
And you also do your marketing. And then you look at your numbers. And then you look at, what's going to make me, what are the costs, what are the overheads, what are the challenges, what are the risks. And if the risks outweigh, If the pros are better than the cons, you go for it. You can never have 100% right.
Yeah, no.
My saying is, if you're 80% confident, you're 80% confident in the deal, go for it. Decision making at 50%, I'm happy. I'll make the decision. 50%. Because you can. The best leaders are they make quick decisions, right? Doing this podcast, we made a decision like we're gonna do it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And we're doing it, and we're helping people. So make decisions. My saying is 50%. If you're 50% right, you think you're right, make the decision and pull the trigger.
Okay, so tell me, you mentioned there you're going to analyze everything, risks and all that sort of stuff. So what is a risk?
What is a risk in Airbnb?
Yeah. What is a risk in Airbnb?
Risk in Airbnbs are like the clientele that I talk to end user. If you're getting clienteles or if your end avatar is tourists, you got to look at risk of parties, people coming to enjoy themselves. So how are you protecting yourself from parties? So we have sound system monitors in every property. So when you have sound system monitor, you can measure it just like having a camera, but sound system.
Yeah.
So these are the risks. Can you sustain in low season? So UK market is not so low. You don't get that in London and Birmingham, but you can get it in say for example Devon or down south in Bournemouth or Southampton, because the beach is right tourist market.
Yeah.
So what you're gonna do in November, December, and January
When it's quiet.
So you've done your numbers. Have you done the numbers to check that you can sustain and have working capital? A working capital is you have enough money that stays in the business for able to sustain in these times and pay for the business, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have the working capital, you've done your numbers wrong and you've not done the analysis right. So these are the risks that going through low season. So Dubai is very much affected by low season.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. So what about when you have a property empty, a property like this? I don't want to get into this one specifically because where we are right now is something that, if I was looking at Airbnb requirements of when I come in November, this is exactly what I want. I want a 2-bedroom by the marina, balcony, all sorts. I've already said to you, Adam, save this place for me, right?
Yeah.
So firstly, we're going to get onto, how long did you get this place, because this seems like it's a perfect criteria fit. But secondly, in the times when Dubai is quiet, so summertime where it is baking and this is empty, how do you, manage that?
Look, so we have strategies and we have plans. So everything I do, I plan it, right? So how do we manage that? We will focus on mid-term to long-term bookings. That's how if you look at our calendar, monthly bookings, we are booking. That's the biggest gap in the market. So the state agents are doing 12-month contracts. You need an ID here to get a 12-month contract. So if we got a market that we're targeting, say, one of my friends hasn't got an ID. So the only way he can rent for long-term, because he's an entrepreneur, he works from his laptop. We're targeting a lot of these people. A lot of people are coming from Russia, for example. A lot of people moving from England, but they're entrepreneurs, right? They can work from their laptop, but they haven't got an Emirates ID.
Yeah.
So we have marketing, Google ads. We're just hammering this down. Not everyone goes home now. This is where the stable, linked to my earlier, this is where the stability in Dubai is now. Not everyone's going home. Not everyone is going to back to UK saying, because they got businesses running, making money. So we have to make money, right? A lot of people. So we're targeting that. That's how we counter that risk, targeting the monthly. So we rent out for 3 months. So May, June, July, most of the time, most of them are booked out.
And that's basically the maximum amount a tourist or someone can come in on a tourist visa, pretty much.
Yeah. And then we have discounts on it. So we cover the cost. We don't make much profit in these months, but we cover on cost, pays the bills, and then we get into the high seasons.
Yeah.
It's like 3 times the price when you rent this in December than you rent this in June.
Yeah, of course, I can imagine. Yeah. So basically you're just covering the cost in the off season.
Yeah.
I've got quite a few friends on property. Yeah. Some as well. For example, Kazi. Now, if I said to Kazi, he's a developer, right? Or developer in the sense of, buys, renovates, flips. If I said to him, I'm going to give you 100 million quid, come to Dubai. If I had to guess, he'd probably make a big development, and either put them all on a rent or sell it to a company like Damac or something like that. If I gave you 100 million, what would you do with it?
In property?
Yeah.
So we would go down the potentially development route. So find you a good plot, help you build. That's where the biggest margins are. So that's one of the things we have. We have a department or partnership with contractors, with developers. So do we do that? It's a very good question.
It doesn't. By the way, this doesn't just have to be in Dubai.
Yeah,
this is 100 million, and you could do whatever you want with it across the world.
Well, if you're talking property or other than property as well.
As an entrepreneur.
So I would split that money between property and to help you as an investor and get your money into acquiring businesses. So acquiring businesses, which will be income generating from day one, and we'll split some of the money in Dubai, not in the UK, in development or buying something off plan. I would spend your money in that or in developing. If 100 million is a lot of money, right? And we would stagger the money in different and diversify your risk. So that's what I would do. Stagger the money into plot development, into villas, great capital appreciation off plan, which has been done by like Emar or Damac or Shoba. Split the money there. And then we also split the money in getting you into acquiring businesses with us. We have a group. We're backed by a big, a big family office, and we'll bring your money into the fund and to grow it. So yeah, that's what we do. If you got 100 million, bring it on, and
maybe 200 million.
Well, I won't say 200, but we'll look at the numbers.
Yeah,
and we'll diversify your risk into the potential of maximum growth. Look, I'm doing big ticket. The great question, yeah, I'm doing big ticket. That's what I'm playing right. I've been here around 5 to 6 years in business. We're looking at deals 100 million to 200 million, right? We've got a plot on sale on the Palm for 195 million on the top of the Palm, right? Just to build a villa. That's 195 million dirhams just for the plot, 19,000 square foot. So we're doing stuff like that. We're looking at partnering up with people. So I've got these connections, I've got the partnerships, and I'm just rocketing off. And if I can help people like you or investors who have this kind of money or have this kind of fund, it would be the greatest achievement for me and satisfaction as a person.
Yeah. What are your future goals for yourself? Business, everything. Where do you see your life in about 10, 20 years' time?
I see my life, 10 to 20 years is a long time, mate. The goal has changed, but for me, it's creating the best family I can create. Have kids. Have a good grow with my wife. When I have a wife, right? I don't have one now. Get married and stuff, type of thing. I have that family side. Kind of like being an entrepreneur and growing up in this corporate world. I kind of missed it, and I think. And stay true to my values, have the character as a man. And these are my goals. These are really simple things that lead to your ultimate success.
Yeah.
Have the character, stay true to yourself, and always maintain it. So you're never, you will always get challenged on your character. And I want to maintain my values of integrity and loyalty and kindness. Like these 3 things I work on, regardless of how hard it gets or how good it gets. A lot of people are challenged on their values when it gets good. And he has got good for me. I've had enough money to not think about when we're going to go to dinners in Dubai or how much it's going to cost, right? So that's when I was challenged for my values, because you get put into different circles you've never been in, and you know this yourself living in Dubai. Can you hold your character as a man and not gossip and all of these little things, right? So holding your character is the biggest thing that I want to stay true to in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
That will install that into my kids and in my family. And then in terms of business, I'm looking to exit some of my the group that I'm going to build when I acquire in 10 years. At 100 mil potentially, and the biggest focus now is for us is EP Real Estate, Equity Partners Real Estate in Dubai that we acquired. We just became an associate partner with Crystal Palace in Premier League.
Yeah,
so we're on the thank you. You've seen it. We're on the boards on the thing. So if anyone wants to come to Crystal Palace, United game maybe. Crystal Palace and United will we're bringing our investors there. So my goal is to grow this brand, help new agents move from UK. Work with us, make the commission that we're making, help our clients move from UK, come here. I want to help the next leaders in luxury real estate to move to Dubai and do these big deals I'm doing. I'm creating this. I want to share my wealth. I want to share my money. And if I'm doing 40 million deal, I want you to do one as well. And I will train you. That's why honestly, I'm so passionate about this. And it makes me happy going into the office on Monday that someone else is sharing my commission as an agent. So I want people to join my team and become a luxury real estate agent, and then I want to serve some of these investors to get the best capital appreciation. So I want to grow this brand to the best brand in Dubai and the best luxury real estate company and with the most integrity in Dubai.
Yeah, sweet as. And I'm going to end it like this. The only reason I'm going to end it is because we're running out of light, and I feel like we could speak a lot longer,
Yeah.
But if you had to give some piece of advice to the youngers watching, and I say youngers because I feel like youngers are going to be the ones who are looking at yourself as an inspiration, right?
Yeah.
What would you say to them? What would you advise them?
So my advice is keep it short: discipline, consistency, and resilience. So what these words mean: turn up on time, turn up every day, turn up to the gym, turn up to your business, do something what you said you're going to do, and take the risk. Take the risk, guys. The worst is going to happen. You're going to lose some money. That's all is going to happen. If you got the integrity and you got this, you build your skill. You don't need to know everything. I didn't born with real estate skills. I didn't born with raising finance skill. I didn't born with buying business skill. I put myself in, took the risk, basically. I took the risk of leaving my job. Take the risk, guys. Take the risk, but educate yourself and calculate the risk and have discipline and consistency. You will be the best version of yourself that you ever wanted to be.
Yeah, sweet as. Adam, I want to thank you a lot for coming on the podcast.
Thank you, man.
And we'll definitely be going out to eat or something after.
Thank you. Let's enjoy.
And if everyone wants to find you, where can they do so?
So on my Instagram handle, Adam R777, Facebook, Adam Rana, and LinkedIn as well, Adam Rana, RANA. So yeah, give us a follow. I post a lot of educational stuff. I post daily. I post my daily, like how I got here, what I do, what my routines are. So I post a lot of, so people give us a follow, and if I can help, people can DM me whether they want to join as an agent or they want to invest, and I will put you in touch with my team, or I will help you. And if anyone's coming to Dubai, happy to connect with them as well.
Yeah, sweet as. I mean, if there's any questions that I didn't ask on behalf of you guys,
yeah, I will answer every question. Put them on the bottom of the comments and the channel.
Yeah, so what you do, if you got a question, put it on the comments in the video below, and Adam will reply to you directly, and you can get your answer.
Yeah.
Other than that, I hope you all enjoyed the podcast. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe, like the video, share it to everyone you may know, and if you want to get in the Airbnb business, make sure you give Adam a shout.
Thank you.
Yeah, peace. Lovely.
Thanks, bro. Really good.
That was a solid podcast.